are going live. Look at that. Gotta love it. Beautiful. Sometimes things actually do go the way you want them to. Isn't that awesome? Welcome, everyone, to, of course, this edition of Tea Talk. Got to do the traditional cup thing. I'm your host, Danny Cade, and I hope you're all doing really well. You had a great Easter weekend. Nobody, punked you too hard on April Fools. And another interesting thing that happened too just last week was we had Earth Day, which is a really good time for us to actually reflect on how we can live in a way that's going to be kinder to our planet by maybe fostering a deeper understanding and support for nature. So today I want to talk a little bit about a simple yet impactful way that we can do this by growing plants that support our local wildlife. And it's kind of a fun thing to do, especially if you have kids or grandkids. It's a great opportunity to teach them a little bit about that. But we want to do this particularly for our birds and insects, starting with our pollinators, the ones like the bees, beetles, and moths. These amazing creatures, they're vital for the pollination of many plants. In fact, most plants rely on pollinators to be able to produce food. But as you may know, these pollinators are facing a serious decline in numbers. And this decline has significant implications for ecosystems worldwide. A great example is caterpillars. They're essential for many bird species to be able to feed their young. Take, for instance, chickadees. They devour a whopping 6,000 to 9,000 caterpillars before fledging. However, providing these essential food sources has become increasingly challenging. And one significant factor that contributes to the challenge is the introduction of non-native plants into our gardens and yards. And these plants often fail to support the needs of local wildlife, and that leads to shortages in the food sources, and then, of course, a decline in their populations. It's a sad reality that highlights the importance of our choices as stewards of the land. Now, some might argue that, as homeowners, we don't need to worry about this issue. We're assuming there's plenty of wild lands out there for wildlife to thrive in. However, the truth is quite the opposite. As Professor Douglas Tallamy eloquently puts it, and I'll quote him, in the past, conservationists worked exclusively where people weren't. Now we need to save nature where people are. And this shift in perspective underscores the urgency of our actions. Insects have an intricate partnership with their native plants, and without these partnerships, we risk losing vital pollinators and other species. For example, take the iconic monarch butterfly, which relies on milkweed for survival, but because of the use of herbicides and pesticides that threaten the existence of milkweed, that's pushing the butterfly towards extinction. But here's the good news. There's several actionable steps that we can take right in our own backyards. There's some great websites out there like Native Plant Finder. That's for the USA. You just put in your zip code and they will tell you what plants are best for your areas. And there's one for Canada that I found called Pollinator Partnership. And I'm sure if you Google, you'll find other ones too. These were just the first two I came up with. And they allow us to discover what native plants that are tailored to our specific regions. And these plants not only support the local wildlife, but quite often they also require less water. And that makes them an eco-friendly choice while being probably a little kinder to your utility bill and quite possibly your grocery bill as well. So another thing that you can do is consider implementing other newer solutions, something I just heard about called the laundry to landscape system, which is already in action in some of the US states. And this system recycles the wash water for use in gardens, which reduces water consumption. However, for that to work, it's crucial to use natural products like Shaklee Green Cleaners that won't harm our plants or the creatures that depend on them, including us. So to sum it up, there are several things that we could do to support our local ecosystems, from choosing native plants to implementing eco-friendly practices. Every little effort counts. So Let's strive to keep natural lighting in our yards, remove those invasive plant species, avoid the harmful chemicals if you can, and let's embrace our native species wherever possible. Whether it's in our yards, it could be in containers, on our decks or balconies, or even hanging baskets. Let's create spaces that not only nurture us, but also the miraculous biodiversity. It was going to happen sooner or later, almost made it through, that surrounds us. So thank you for listening. Let's continue to work together towards a more sustainable future for everyone. And if you'd like to learn more on that, we have an upcoming webcast from Farm to Fork, where you can discover how your food choices can play a big role in supporting a healthier you and a thriving earth. And what you're going to learn in there is the impact of our diets. We're going to uncover the significant ways that our current dietary choices affect our health and the planet's well-being. We're going to learn about the planetary diet and how it represents a better choice for our health and the environment. The agricultural shifts for sustainability. We've got to explore some of the necessary changes in farming practices to support a more sustainable food system. And about phosphate-free detergents, we're going to discover the science behind Shaklee's phosphate-free detergents in keeping lakes and waterways healthy. So there's also going to be some myth busting going on, the truth behind some of the conflicting messages that are going on in social media, such as buying local isn't always the right thing to do. Plus much more. So that'll be on Wednesday, April 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be with Dr. Bruce Daggy. That'll be 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I do encourage you to register for that, even if you know you might be busy running somebody to soccer or cooking dinner, or maybe you're just coming home from work. That's okay. We get that. It's called life. So register for it, because if you can't make it at the time that it's actually going live, here's the good news. You're going to be one of the first to get the replay as soon as it comes out. All right, so check that out. Another thing that some of you keeners can do, if you're interested in learning more, you can join my wellness page, Danny Cade Wellness. I'm on Facebook there. If you'd like to watch some of the previous shows that you might have missed that I do, you can also find me on YouTube, Danny Cade Wellness as well. I also have a discovery group. We just hit 1,000 members today. Actually, it's 1,001. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'd love to have you join us there. We get a little bit more in depth on some of the little techie things on wellness. And if you'd like to, I also have a wellness center that's online. It's got all sorts of great recipes, articles, past webinars, and so much more. It's yours for the taking. It's free. And I will put the links to that as well as the webinar all over this post or wherever I can in the comments above, as the case may be. And if you're looking for the webinar, by the way, it's on every one of my pages. You're going to find it there. But if there's anything else that you need help with, by all means, get in touch with me, and I will definitely help you with that. So thanks for joining me. I really hope that you join me this coming, well, actually tomorrow. I've got a wellness show that'll be live tomorrow right here at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That'll be 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'd love to have you join me there too. If you have any questions, please throw them in the comments. I'd love to answer those as best I can. And if I don't have the answers, don't worry about it. I know smart people who do. All right, take care, everybody, and make it a great day. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.